right, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to December 3rd. Welcome to the sit down. I'm here with my co-host Tom Thakkar, and we gotta bang this one out. We gotta get through this very quickly. We're not gonna have any bullshit. We're not gonna have any. I have an outline prepared, and we're not gonna waste your fucking time. Would you?
That's right. Let's talk really fast the whole time. That way we fit in an hour's worth in 55 minutes.
That's not a bad idea. The speed podcast.
Yeah, speed. Or when you put this one out, we will record 50 and you slow it down like 0.9. You know, put it at 0.9 speed when you put it out, and then people will be like, "You're high," but at least it was as long as I wanted it to be.
Someone's like, "We should send a doctor over there. I think something's going on with Racine and Thakkar." Anyway, so how's it going? So we're entering. It feels like winter now. We're entering the winter lockdown, and it was weird because March isn't that bad. The weather kind of started to get nice. You know, I guess end of March, April, it's like it's not terrible. But now this is like winter, and you can't leave your fucking house. Not that people really leave their house in the winter, but I just had this feeling that it's gonna be rough.
It's already brutal, man. It's killing me. It gets dark at fucking 3:20. It sucks. They screwed it up. They should just admit they screwed it up and go, you know what? It's dark. It's getting dark. Literally today it was 4:28 that it got dark. I was playing basketball outside and it got pitch black. And it's like at some point just call it and go, you know what? We fucked it up. We're gonna push it an hour. 5:28.
You think we should get rid of daylight savings?
They should just get rid of it for this year. If it's this bad, there's got to be some. They should go, you know what? We fucked it up.
There's got to be some industry or some lobby, right? That controls that.
Yeah, who could it be? Who wants it to be dark all the
time? Farmers?
Vampires.
Yeah.
It's vampires, dude. They are controlled. They're like, well, let's make it dark most of the day, and that way we can finally it's our time to shine, you know.
Have you tried the thing where you go to bed at like 10 o'clock and then you wake up at 6? You feel like Steven Seagal?
That would be, I think if I lived like in the Midwest, I would probably do that, but out here it's like, you know, I still am up till like 2 in the morning, and then I wake up at 10 or 11, and then most of the daylight's gone. It's over. Why is there no schedule for us, you know, for those of us who want to stay up late? And then it could be dark at like, I mean, it sometimes is like this where it doesn't get dark till like 9, and those are the best days. I love those days.
A schedule for like just for degenerates.
Yeah, exactly. Why is it built around people who go to work every day and struggle and, you know, come home and they're miserable? But also even those people, it's like I remember working an office job and you go to work and it's dark and you leave work and it's dark, and that sucks.
Yeah. It feels like you're mad at farmers, but there's just not enough it's just not enough daylight.
Yeah, I'm pretty pissed. I'm pissed off about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, do you have any plans? Because I don't know what's going on with the vaccine, but I guess like, do you have any plans for the winter? Are you any projects that you're going to be working on? Any I don't know.
The major project is going to be trying not to kill myself for the next 3 months, because I got nothing to look forward to. I got I mean, other than, you know, spending time with my loved ones. I'm not going home for Christmas though. I'm not doing shit. We're staying here. And you know, I just lost my podcast, so I'm in a bad fucking spot. I'm your
Comedy Central podcast,
I think. Yeah, they decided to end that. So,
but who even works at Comedy Central anymore? Because all the executives
got gutted. Everybody who hired me pretty much got fired. They said because they gave me a podcast. They flipped the whole network because they gave me a podcast once a week. They go, you know what? Who the fuck made this call? Gut the whole thing. Everybody from top to bottom.
Yeah.
No, it's very stupid because it was a cheap thing to make, and it was a way to play their half hours that were going to waste because their website fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So, like, do you ever get anybody who's like, "Hey, I watched your half hour"? Like, and ever?
No.
I'm probably the first person who messaged you about your half hour in years. I bet. Right?
Yeah.
Because who watches it?
Well, you know what happened was 10 or 15 years ago, they used to rerun those half hours all the time. So you would do
I know.
So like when Jim Gaffigan did his half hour, I hope this episode doesn't become like too depressing. I mean, it might, but I think that's entertaining for people just to watch us spiral down into whatever. But
I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it. I feel like stand-up comedy, nobody gives a shit about it unless you're, I'm excited. Like I think we might have talked about it last week, but it's like Matthew McConaughey or whatever is going to do stand-up. That's who's going to be stand-ups now. That's
right,
it.
Right.
It's over.
Right.
And by the way, the people who hired me at Comedy Central and the people who were helping me through this had nothing to do with the podcast going away. It's the fucking like bigger shit. This is the problem. Every podcast now, we're insane for even making this podcast right now because every podcast now is like Zach Braff has a podcast and like the fucking Jason Bateman. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
they don't need this. They're just doing it. It's not even
everyone's been like demoted, I guess it feels like. But then what's the entertainment that people are consuming? Actually, I want to talk about this a little bit because Deb and I watched some TikTok videos the other night. I've always kind of like stayed away from TikTok until now, and I spent like 20 minutes on her. I don't even have the app downloaded on my phone, but I spent like 20 minutes watching TikTok videos, and some of them are good, because you just watch and it just goes on a loop, so you see a variety of different stuff. But there's something like really weird about TikTok where you watch it and you go, okay, like every once in a while there's a good one, but this is very much just like it feels very mediocre. It's very much just like American mediocrity on your phone. There's no talent. There's not really that much talent or like skill. Every once in a while, someone will like punk their dad and be like, "Dad, I'm pregnant. I had sex with Grandpa, and I'm having his baby."
Yeah,
and the dad
I banged
believes it.
Grandpa, and you're gonna be really happy because we're having a baby together. And so, aren't you proud, Papa? And the dad's like, "What?" I know what you mean. I got to tell you, I was anti-TikTok for a long time. I really, really did not want to be a part of it. I don't like it, and I would watch my girlfriend's TikTok, and I still don't like it.
She has a TikTok?
She gets mad at me. No. I mean, she has one, but she doesn't post on it. She's not like a TikToker. She's not like a star. She just likes the app. And she would show me, and hers are all just people dancing, and I don't. It's not that I'm not impressed by dance, and sometimes I find it moving, but for the most part, I want to see funny stuff or like animals doing stuff. And so I started a TikTok because like we have friends who all they do is put their stand up on TikTok and it does well. So I was like, oh, why not do that? That's just promoting your own stand up. And I had a couple clips do all right. And then our buddy Brendan Ayer, I said our buddy. I like Brendan. I don't know. I just put those words in your mouth. But Brendan Ayer has a bunch of viral stuff on there. So I was like, oh, okay. See, people are doing it. And then I started one, and then I find myself watching it. And my feed, because I skip past shit I don't like, is actually pretty good. I like watching the stuff that's on mine. But
you've cultivated a feed.
The hit rate is still like 2%. It's so much of it sucks.
Oh, so much of it sucks. Yeah. It's just a weird thing too, where it's like, I don't know. It's like we're tasked with making the entertainment. Like it used to be people got paid money. You found the talented people to make the entertainment. Not that was, a great system, but now it's like,
a lot of people got abused and stuff.
A lot of people got abused and thrown in the garbage.
See, back then it was good because the way that the entertainment industry worked is like a very vulnerable person would get used up and make very little money, but they'd be a star. And then after years of abuse, they might make it. They'd be washed out of the industry as soon as they spoke up about it. And that was good.
Yeah, right. And they were good and they had some talent and they were a star and they go, man, why am I not happy? I got like everything else. But like I had everything else.
It's because I have to look at this rich man's penis every once in a while.
And then they drank themselves to death.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was watching some YouTube video the other day, and there's this guy he was talking about. There's this guy whose food videos I watch. His name's Adam Ragusia, and he was talking about, I forget the guy's name who wrote the song Cherry Pie. I think his name's Janie Lane or something.
Okay.
Anyway, so he had this he had this album. He was like a very talented musician. He was like when he was 11, he was like a gigging drummer. And then he formed the band Warrant, and they make this album, and the record executive calls him, and he's like, I don't hear a hit on this album. So he's like, all right, I'll give you a hit. He writes that song Cherry Pie in like 15 minutes. And then forever he just becomes the cherry pie guy. Yeah. And he's just like everything. It's all he's known for. I don't know what the point is I'm trying to get at here, but it's all he's known for. And then he ends up like drinking himself to death in a Comfort Inn.
Well, that's where, and I think about this a lot, especially with shit like TikTok. It's like the stuff that goes viral, the stuff that goes big is always the thing that you're like, that's the thing that did it. And when you go through Twitter, you see the same viral tweet 20 times a week where it's like, a man is someone who doesn't have any pillows and comes, but you don't come. And it's viral every single time. And
it's viral. It's just the same person. It's the same variation of the person.
They have a bikini picture or like somehow like a little bit of like, or just like they're shirtless in some capacity or it's just enough for people to click and go, ooh, what's this person all about? Genius. It turns out a man is a person who says they love you but then ghosts you. What? That's the tweet. And then that has 100,000 and you're like, I spent all day writing a joke, and then you're like, I really think this is funny, and you put it out there and people are like, what are you even thinking? It gets like 27 likes.
And then you're embarrassed because it gets like 12 likes. You thought it was really good. you're like, should I delete that?
Do you see the engagement? It's like 50,000 people saw this. 27 thought it was cool.
You know what I'm imagining? Because we're talking about like the old system of entertainment. I'm imagining someone who's like, I don't know, maybe they're from like Michigan or Iowa or something, and they take a bus to Hollywood and they start doing whatever you have to do to become an actress. And they take the acting classes and they network and they get a waitressing job and like they get some interviews, they get their foot in the door, and then they meet Harvey Weinstein and he rapes them. And then he ruins their life. But then like, and eventually like they, there's the trauma from that, and they have to leave Hollywood. But as on their way out, they're like, you know what? I did my best. I threw my chips down. I threw my chips down on the table. Yeah. And I think like probably me and you come from that sort of line of thinking where it's like, we kind of knew we were getting it. Like we got into this at a time where we knew what we were getting into. Yeah. And we were like,
it wasn't a mystery. Like, hey, this is all based on merit and it's good. It's an industry that's good for your mental health. And the people at the top are very happy. It's like, I was working with someone who was actively sick, mentally ill and famous and still mentally ill. And you're like, yeah, I guess it just keeps getting worse. And the bar
mentally ill, but they were just making somebody too much money to get any treatment or help or anything.
Yeah. And it gets fed into, and if you can put on a persona for long enough, people will buy it. And as soon as you turn off the computer, you're just a piece of shit and not a good person. And you don't find any reason to get any kind of help because you've gotten enough serotonin from all the people who compliment you online or give you money. And it's all bad. That's the thing that brings me a little comfort sometimes. It's like, even if you got everything that you thought was the best things that could happen in this business, it's not going to make you happy. And everybody knows that and still chases it, and it still doesn't matter. And that's why the good thing to do is to smoke weed every night and drink a bunch of beers and play 2K instead of working on a craft, because it doesn't matter. And then someday you die, but who cares? Because you were going to do that anyway.
And so many people, there's so many people have died already.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what, you're smarter than those dead people? You're not special. You're gonna die at 45, and that's fine because you went out a flaming star.
I was talking to Mike Lawrence one time, who's like one of my good friends and one of my oldest friends in comedy, and he's since like moved to LA and he's writing for shows and stuff. But we were talking about gambling one time, and he was like, And Mike always frames everything like it's this like life or death, like he's pretty. I think maybe that's why we get along, because we're both dramatic. Mike's very dramatic, but he'll say stuff where you're like, yeah, that's beautiful, And he was like, we were talking about gambling, and he was like, yes, I never thought gambling was very interesting, because when you think about it, our careers are the biggest gamble. We're putting everything on the line. And and we really are. And it's I don't know what the point is that I'm trying to make.
Well, here's the thing. The alternative doesn't matter either, because I did that. I worked I had a day job for a long time. I worked in an office and I made decent money, and I was fucking miserable then too. So and here's the thing. I'm not miserable. I'm in a bad mood because of this news I got. And but at the end of the day, I'm the idiot because I'm an optimist who's like, hey, I'm living my dream. We're doing it. And every year that you make it last without having to get,
All right, let me try to cheer you up then. How about I was thinking about this last week. How about an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond? You're familiar with the show?
Of course.
It's like, yeah. It's the whole thing with like Marie always being unhappy with the way Deborah keeps her house or cooks or whatever, being very critical. So how about Marie finding out that Marie not liking the way that Deborah sucks Ray's dick? And so I don't know. Is there anything there? Can we write a sex script?
I think there is. It's like, oh, ma.
Yeah. It's fine.
I can't. It's okay if I don't finish from the blowjob. Ma.
She's like, Deborah, don't you tickle Raymond's balls? That was a good Ray Romano.
Oh. That's the only celebrity that anybody.
See, you're talented.
I look like. Yeah, I can do Ray Romano getting a bad blowjob. Oh. Oh.
Marie, that's none of your business.
Everybody blows Raymond.
Raymond's always getting his dick sucked.
Ma doesn't care how I get the fucking head.
Then you find out at the end of the episode that Frank is not. Marie acts like she knows so much about giving head, but you find out that Frank has never come from a blowjob. That's the big reveal at the end of the episode. He's like, your mother never made me come with her mouth.
Oh, shit.
I have a weird batting average with impressions. I either do them pretty well or I just completely miss. And then it's like it's like
Deborah gives perfectly good blowjobs.
Yeah, the kids are somehow like, I don't know, downstairs. Yeah. Marie's like running her mouth because isn't that a thing?
They had 3 kids.
They had 3 kids. Yeah, one of the kids killed himself. The twins.
Oh my God! In the show?
Yeah, in the show.
Oh,
jeez.
Oh no!
Jeffrey hung himself. Ray.
Oh my sweet boy. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, that's a good Ray Romano.
Raymond. I got to be honest. I don't.
Well, Raymond's son. Raymond can't even stop his son from killing himself.
Oh. Damn it. My Robert is really just, everybody loves Raymond. I can't do him saying anything else. But you know what? That's fine.
That guy got pretty lucky.
I got to tell you, I loved that show. I loved that. It's funny that Brad Garrett has a comedy club now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he was funny in that show, but it's like,
he was.
Who was ever like, who I think is a hilarious stand-up comedian?
Although it's weird because when you see him on a roast or something, he's like just okay. It's kind of like you're like, oh, you don't really have any ability. Like I guess he's a funny actor.
Yeah,
but it's not really like
that role is hilarious. I remember. You remember the first time you heard him talk, like not as that character. Mm-hmm. I remember being blown away because he doesn't sound anything like Raymond or like Brad Garrett's character in the show. What the hell is it, Robert? He doesn't sound like Robert.
Oh,
he doesn't
really?
have a deep voice like that. He doesn't have like a oh, like he's very froggy on Everybody Loves Raymond. And he was in some other show that me and my mom were watching. We were both blown away that he had like a normal voice.
Really?
And I remember both of us being like, that guy is an incredible actor.
Yeah.
We were so easily impressed by any kind of changing of a voice. We were like, that is brilliant acting. And honestly, I kind of stand by it. It was a brilliant comedic choice to have that voice. But
I didn't know that. I thought that was his real voice.
No, I've heard he's pretty cool too. He like hosts when he is at. If you do Brad Garrett's, I think a lot of the times he's the host, and it seems like a fun time.
That's it's like a Vinny Brand type of thing.
Yeah, it's like a Vinny Brand type of thing.
Nice.
Oh fuck! I had two things. One was about Mike Lawrence, which is just me quoting a funny thing he said.
All right, cool. Because I want to tell you a Vinny Brand. Oh,
I wanted to also tell a Vinny Brand thing, but I want to cover the Mike Lawrence thing before I forget it. He has one of the funniest lines I've ever heard, and I think about it all the time whenever
Mike Lawrence.
Do you know Ronan Hirschberg? Yeah. This was not on stage, so I feel like it's. I wouldn't just do it if it was his bit, but I feel like it's one of those things that could get lost to time. I only know it because of how much it pissed off Ronan. Ronan told me that Mike called him Schindler's Lisp, and it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite quick burns of all time. It's great. Because he has a bit of a lisp, and he's a very Jewish man. So I feel like it's just perfect.
That's what I love about Mike. I mean, because he really shines in the roast battles and also like judging them. He's very quick with that stuff, and he's gotten so good at that one thing.
Yeah.
Like he might not be good at like showering or like personal hygiene or like just general upkeep.
Sure.
But
he
has
that one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just like regular. Actually, I got to be honest. I don't know him that well, so I feel bad ripping on him too hard about his personal stuff. But he's only been nice to me, so he's a good man.
No, he's great. He's one of my best friends, and also it is really funny because I did open mics with him. And it was really funny to me like looking back on it, it's really funny that he sort of established himself as this like the godfather of open mics because the thing with comedy is like you do it and nobody's great when they start, like everybody does it for a long time. They develop and they get better, and you never know who's gonna end up being really good and who's gonna go anywhere. You're all kind of like at the starting line together.
Sure.
And then people just do whatever. So, but Mike sort of became this presence of the mic where he would tell people to quit comedy, and he would like tell people that they stunk to their face, and he would just.
This is what I heard about him from even way before I met him because he was on. Yeah. I remember he was on Pete Holmes' podcast like years ago, and they talked about that, and I was like, "Who is this guy who just does?"
They talked about Mike.
Yeah, he was on. He was on the show. He was on You Made It Weird.
Oh, he was.
And, okay. He kept it crispy, and he was. He was. They just talked about how he did mics all the time and would eat McDonald's every day. And I remember thinking, like, that is what New York comedy is, and I couldn't wait to get here.
Impressing Mike Lawrence.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I asked because Mike and I were always friends, and I asked him for feedback, and I was like, "Listen, I know you're like really honest with people." And I know you'll tell people, like you tell people what they, like you sometimes tell people what they don't want to hear. But I'm like, do you have any like feedback for me? And he was like, I don't know, not really. You're funny.
That's a nice moment.
Yeah, but that's, I don't know. Sometimes I wish people would be like, oh, fix this.
Yeah.
Stop.
It's hard because
stop wearing those parachute pants.
I came up in a scene where that's what the owner of the club would do. Everything you did wrong, he would tell you. And it's like, he's not a comic, so sometimes you'd be like, I think I know better. But then he would be right most of the time because he was watching from outside.
He's watching comedy forever. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you're a year in, you think you know more than you do, and you're actually a dumbass. I certainly was. Yeah. But I want to hear this Vinny Brand story.
Well, so Vinny is the owner. He's a comic. He's the owner of the Stress Factory in New Brunswick, and so New Brunswick was like kind of where I started doing open mics. I started comedy like at like Jersey open mics and bringer shows, which is like a very funny scene because it's guys who like are Jersey. They're like Jersey comics, and New York is a 40-minute drive from Jersey, but they only perform in Jersey. And they'll give you this whole speech about how like, yeah, fuck New York because everybody there, they think they're better than you, and I don't do that. I want to just perform, you know. And I remember like the early days of my career was I won this contest, and then I had the prize was I got 10 paid spots throughout the year, and they only gave me 3 of them, but they all paid but they paid $25 each. And I was like, I'm getting paid to do comedy. It was great. I'm getting paid to do comedy.
Yeah. This is how I got in too. There was a contest in my local club, and I was like, I'm gonna win that fucking contest. And I kept doing it. That was outside of New York. I think contests are very big for keeping your hopes up about doing this, and they keep you in it for longer than I think some people win those contests, and then they're like, I'm a comedian, and then. That's it. Yeah. But
I think Tim Dillon says something about like if you win a local contest and you don't leave that town, you miss the point.
Yeah. Anyway, that's true.
So the Stress Factory was always this like Jersey comedy club, and I would do open mics there, and it was always just like the Stress Factory. When you think about it, like. It's like a weird name for a comedy club, right?
It's such a weird name. I think about this quite often. I don't know why, but I think about that a lot.
Yeah, but like
Stress Factory. You're like the bummer house.
Yeah.
Like, what a weird.
The grief room.
the anxiety. I don't know.
Your 2-year-old dog dropped dead from a heart attack room.
Stress Factory. Both words.
Yeah.
One word. You go stress. What do you think? Relief factory? No, a factory. Both things bad. You don't want to be a part of either of those things.
Yeah.
Is the idea that the comedian is stressed and they're like sweating and they gotta? I don't get it.
My interpretation was like it's like the implication is like come relieve your stress. Like you work all week and you're stressed.
Yeah.
So
sure.
So then, I don't know.
That's like if they call the hospital the bullet factory.
Right.
So that doesn't make any sense.
The leukemia room.
You're like, I feel like I shouldn't be going in here. It's called the leukemia room, and I have that, and I'm trying to get away from that.
Am I gonna leave here like sick? The sick assembly line. But Vinny's like a funny guy because like when you do his club, I mean, obviously like he's the owner and he's a comic, so he like hosts the shows a lot. So he's very proud of, and it is like a good when that room is full, it's very good. It's a very fun place to perform. Yeah. But you know, Vinny is obviously like very proud. When I met Scarlett Johansson, I met her at the Stress Factory because she like came down to see Colin because he was headlining there and I was opening for him because I'm I'm a feature act. I'm a perpetual. I'm just gonna be featuring.
Same here,
I'm gonna be featuring for the rest of my life.
Let's feature forever. It's kind of sick. I mean, you don't make you get the money that
it is kind of sick, right? There's less pressure.
It's way less pressure. You don't have to draw. You don't have to be famous.
Yeah.
And that's why I haven't gotten famous. I like featuring. I don't want to be too big because I don't want to have to like go to the bodega and the guy is like asking me for my autograph.
I did have a moment before COVID where I was like, should my career move be to like find, because it's like I'm funny, but I don't have the numbers to like draw. I'm like, should I start reaching out to like Instagram celebrities and be like, hey, let's go on the road together?
It's honestly it's not a bad idea. Yeah. I kind of like that move because it's like they're going to go to these towns and I've done it before where I've opened for somebody. Here's the thing, it kind of sucks because their audience doesn't want to see you. It's one of those like if you open for a comic who's really big, the audience is there for comedy, so they're kind of happy that a funny person is on before whoever they're there to see for the most part.
I think we both had that experience, right? Like opening for bigger people.
Yeah, and if you open for somebody who's just famous, it sucks because the audience is like, who the fuck are you? I'm here to see this person, and they think you're pathetic. They're like, why would I laugh at this person? Like I think that they don't want to see comedy. They just want to. It's basically a way for them to be near a celebrity for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
They shouldn't even guise it under comedy.
It shouldn't even be comedy, yeah.
It should just be a fucking aquarium that they stand in, and they don't talk. I mean, maybe they can talk. It doesn't matter. What they're saying isn't interesting or funny. They're just there. Yeah. And so they just stand there, and they kind of, or they can like giggle their way through shit, and they're just hot behind an aquarium glass. Yeah. Because that's what the people want anyway.
Right. That is what they want. They want to be close to the Royals.
That's it. Yeah. I'm on some other shit this week, man. I'm pissed off about it. Did you see that Hassan Minhaj?
We don't get to see pissed Tom Thakkar a lot.
I'm pissed off. Did you see that Hassan Minhaj thing where he went after Dax Shepard?
No.
Oh, he went after.
Wait, can I finish this Vinny Brand story though?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I don't even know if it's a good story, but anyway. So, but Vinny is like, you know, he's a guy. He also got in like a fight with Pete Davidson because, like,
I remember this. Yeah.
Vinny is a guy who's like, it's a lot of fun, and if he likes you, you'll have like a good experience, you know, like working with him, you know. Mm-hmm. And but one time I was there, and like I think I was opening for Colin, and I get back in the green room, and this is like the kind of guy that he is. Like he goes, hey, that material you did out there, was that your A, or were you doing new stuff? And I'm like, it was a little bit of both. And he's like, okay, well, this is an A room, so would you mind doing your best stuff next time?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, sure. And he was like, I'm just kidding. Hey, Vinny Brand, how's it going?
I'm not kidding. He did the same thing to me.
He did,
and I didn't realize he has a hearing problem. And one of the other comics was like, because I thought he just ignored what I said at one point, and I was like, oh, this guy's pulling some Jersey shit on me. He's like, he thinks I'm soft, and he's gonna pull it. I came to this town with a big chip on my shoulder, and I was like ready for people to fuck
New Brunswick,
with me.
New Jersey?
Yeah, exactly. I came to that town. No, I came to New York. Oh, okay. I didn't know. I thought that it was all one big scene. I didn't realize that whole. It's so funny that there's such a divide from 45 minutes away. It is.
Oh, it's crazy because those guys go to New York and they get like booed and they get silenced because they do like, you know, hacking. I remember that comedy competition that I did. I won it. I did it in 2008 and 2009. I won the competition in 2009, but in 2008, this guy won. His name was Kojo, and his closing bit was he would hump the stool, of course. But the bit was like that? No, but the bit was like he would talk about, he would be like, you know how you try to get some pussy from your girl when she's asleep, and he would make snoring noises as he would like hump to the stool. And dude, this bit would kill so fucking hard. You're like, you ever try to get some pussy from your girl when she's asleep? And he's like, as he's like hump, and he's like, and so he won the competition before me. And I remember that year, one of the judges approached me after the competition. He was like, Mike, honestly, it was between you and Kojo for who was the funniest, and he won, but we thought you were great. Which I think is
so good.
Which I think is like, I don't know, maybe worse.
I think that if you did that in Brooklyn, there would just be police waiting out at the door.
Yeah, maybe.
When you got off stage.
I think so. Yeah. But then those guys get a chip on their shoulder because they'll be like, yeah, I got New York out of my system a long time ago. Anyway,
I hate it. Dude, people have such a visceral hate of New York, and it's so sad. Where it's like, I know these. Are
you thinking of the bodega tweet?
Yeah, well, there's that. That set me off this week.
Let's talk about that, but let me just because I feel like I should finish this. I don't even think it's a good story anymore. But let me just.
I didn't know there was another part to it.
So anyway,
I don't mean to keep.
So I asked Vinny. I was like. So, because I was, because it's like the Stress Factory, it's like I've always been going there, so I always like accepted the name. I was like, oh, this must mean something. But I finally got the opportunity to ask him. I was like, why is why is the club called? By the way, not that I have anything negative to say about Vinny, but this will get back to him probably that we were talking about him on the show.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to go, hey, Racine was talking about you on his podcast.
I mean, we'll say it right now. We love Vinny. I've only met him maybe twice, and both times were very stressful. Not because of him, but it was. I just had it was. I went there literally the day after Trump won.
Yeah.
And it was a very weird energy in the room.
Yeah.
And
well, also the thing with Vinny is his ex-wife has a very tight pussy.
Is that right?
That's what I hear. That's what Rich Voss told me.
Oh,
anyway,
shit.
that's what Lavelle Crawford says. Anyway, but I had the chance to ask him. I was like, where does the name The Stress Factory come from? And he was like, he's like, I was 31 years old. I had 2 kids already. I was going through divorce. I was paying child support. I was in here. I owed everybody money. I had my ex-wife was calling me. I had contractors calling me. I had credit debt collectors calling me. And I go, man, this place isn't a comedy club. This place is The Stress Factory. And that's how he named his club. I don't know. Is that a good story? I don't know, but it's really
joke.
Yeah. It's like, oh, let me name my business out of the worst thing that ever happened. That
is so funny to go.
That's like having a moving company, and you're like, that's like having a moving company, and you name the moving company like I backed into a stroller moving.
You should just name any business. I fucking hate this place.
Yeah. rat droppings in my shoes, junk removal.
That is that's beautiful. I love that he did that. That's a very from the little bit because he did MC when I was there, and from the little bit I gathered from him, that is exactly what he would do, and I like it. Because he
had a thing with Pete Davidson a few years ago. Because Pete was headlining, and Vinny was like, Pete was like, whatever you say, just don't mention Ariana Grande. Yeah.
Yes.
So Pete,
I still have my headphones on. I'm just grabbing a glass. You're drinking whiskey, right?
Yeah. Why? What are you doing?
I'm gonna do that too.
Tom's gonna go smoke crack.
Next to some. All
right. Do you want me to just? Do you want me to just cut?
It's within reaching distance.
All right, it's in reaching distance. Okay. So he had a thing with So Pete Davidson goes to the show, and I think Pete was like, "Whatever you do, don't mention Ariana Grande." and then Vinny went up and he was like, "You guys ready for Ariana Grande's ex?" or something like that. And Pete left. You know,
he just walked out, and then didn't they? Like Pete posted a thing on his story or something.
Yeah.
And Vinny talked a bunch of shit about him or something.
But I just love that he's like, "Fuck you! It's my club. Suck my dick." That's my name on the. That's my name on the sign.
Hey, people are half here to see me.
Fucking baby. It's like The Sopranos where Paulie sniffs Adriana's underwear, and Christopher tells Tony. And Paulie's like, "He told you that, fucking baby."
Oh, Christopher.
Yeah. I need to watch something funny tonight. Have you watched anything funny in a while?
Dude, I really like that show. It's on HBO. How To with John. I can't remember his last name, but it's Nathan Fielder produced it. And the first episode I saw was this guy getting he was anti-circumcision shit.
Did we talk about this last week?
I don't think so. Did we? Because I just saw it. I just saw it on Thanksgiving, and we didn't do a Thanksgiving episode.
Well, so. I got a baby coming, right?
You got a baby? What? Are you serious?
Yeah, into April.
Did you tell? No,
I didn't. I guess I didn't tell you, but I wanted to tell I wanted to tell my friends individually. So yeah,
I don't think you told me that. If you
it's
did,
it's a boy with long legs and a huge dick. So I'm hoping.
Dude, congratulations, because that's the dream. When you think of what you want out of a baby, I can't think of a better.
Long legs and a big dick?
Yeah. And you specified long legs.
Yeah, but I don't have long legs.
Is that because
or
a
big dick?
Oh, that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe is
Deb doesn't have long legs either.
Does Deb's dad maybe have long legs?
Does your dad have long legs? That's a weird thing too. It's like, what
so
do
maybe
you do,
it's his.
It's Deb's dad, baby.
That baby looks just like Deb's dad. I think it's his.
And it's like you can't get mad at Deb for cheating on me because it's like it's a whole thing with her dad. All right, I
Maybe
guess.
that'd be a great.
She's
That'd be
my
a fun little
sister and
sketch.
my daughter.
That'd be a fun sketch. Is the
Right.
guy would because that happens sometimes. Sometimes your baby looks like your grandpa or whatever,
Mhm.
and you
Yeah.
accuse your wife of sleeping with your grandpa.
Did you fuck my grandpa? You just go down to the nursing home and you're like, I want you to be honest with me. Did you fuck my wife? Grandpa, did you fuck my wife?
Look at this baby. He's just like drooling,
Yeah.
catatonic.
Oh
man,
that would be weird though if the kid's not mine. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's mine, but if the kid's not mine, like, what do you do? Because like the boy needs a father, and if Deb
Right.
fucked somebody who's not me, there's no way that guy is going to be capable of raising a kid. So I guess I have to just divorce her and be a single dad.
Yeah, I think you just got to take the kid because it's like obviously the mom's unfit. She cheated on you. That's not a good mom.
Right.
The only way for it to happen is for you to be the single dad. This is a great sitcom, by the way.
It is a good sitcom.
Is that you end up? I mean, that's kind of what happens in Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah.
But I say
also that remember that show My Name Is Earl? That was kind of like the thing too.
Yeah.
Where Earl Jr. is black, which you can't do that anymore.
No, that bit's over. But that's one of those things where it's like, aren't we glad they did it when they could, and now
they got all the mileage out of it.
Because that Me, Myself, and Irene is hilarious. Like that, I remember seeing it in theaters as a kid and losing my mind at like the kids who they're black kids and they grow up and they're just roasting the shit out of their white dad, and it's so funny.
He's not there.
I haven't seen it in years. It might suck shit, but at the time I loved it.
The thing is, nothing really holds anything older than like 25 years. It doesn't really hold up,
especially with comedy. Especially with comedy, it's hard
for sure.
I will say I watched Night at
No,
the
but you know what that joke is, that joke, that trope of like the baby coming out, half black. That's like when you buy a dozen bananas and you take 2 bananas and you put them in your cereal, and then you make banana bread with the remaining 10 bananas. Like that, we've extracted everything out of that joke. It's done. It's over. We've gotten everything out of it.
What if you did? Do you think people would be offended if you were like, that baby's clearly Irish? Like,
why?
It's just another type of white. It's a different.
Yeah.
That's probably that's probably the original part of that bit. I bet it. Like they're like, that kid has red hair or whatever.
I'll tell you something weird though. My grandmother very clearly has a different father from her. I might get in trouble for saying this.
I'm in a similar boat where my uncle looks very different from I have one uncle who does not look like the rest of the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah, and then I don't know what you do about that.
You just let it. Hey, if they were cool with it, you let it be.
Well, it's funny because my grandmother's siblings, they're all like Polish, like farm people, and they all kind of like, I mean, not to be rude, but they kind of look like monkeys. Like they have very like round Polish features, and my grandmother does not. And she has smaller features. We have a similar mouth, Sure. So her and my mom and me. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. What do you do? I think you just move on. I bet there's a lot of that shit from back in the day. Way back when, I mean, we saw it in Mad Men, but people were cheating left and right back then, and they fully got away with it because there was no social media, so they would just do it in another town, and then nobody. There's not like,
There's no pulling out back then.
What's that?
There was no pulling out back then.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't even know about that. They didn't have the technology yet. They didn't know about pulling out until like 1994, and that's why that's why the baby boom happened.
Right. There was like a PSA about it with Tim Allen.
Yeah, Bill Clinton. Yeah, Tim Allen. He goes, sometimes you're about to come. Oh. And right before that's how he got away with making it not dirty. He didn't have to say come. He was like, sometimes you're having sex and you're about to. Oh.
Well, the other dirty sitcom bit that I have, the idea is that like it's Home Improvement where Tim is having trouble making Jill come. Mm-hmm, so they carve a hole in the fence and Wilson puts his dick through the hole and he fucks And he fucks Jill.
It's a glory hole where you know who it is.
Yeah.
You know who it is, and on the show they show the full penis. They never show his face, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Somehow that makes it fine. They're like, technically, there's the law in TV where if you never see the guy's face, you can show his whole penis.
Right. There's some loophole where if you don't see the guy's mouth.
They do blur out Jill's vagina, but because you've seen her face, but they show his full penis.
Do you remember the finale of Home Improvement, the season finale?
Yes,
they were like,
because they moved to Bloomington. They moved to my hometown.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, because
I don't even remember that.
Gets a position at IU. Yeah, it's crazy.
I just remember they were like, and Wilson's mouth revealed. Like they were going to show you Wilson's mouth.
I remember seeing Wilson's mouth and being like, I'm glad they covered it up. It did look weird. He had a pedophile mouth. He had one of those mouths that you're like, this is just a little bit. I don't trust you, and I don't mean to put any hate on the man's name. He might be a good guy, but he had one of those mouths. I knew a pedophile as a kid, and he had the same mouth. And,
really?
Yeah, and so I think that.
Wait, let me look him up. I don't remember the guy's name, and I feel like I should remember it because I have a memory like that. But
sure.
What was the guy's name?
I don't remember at all. Just Wilson.
Earl something.
I think I knew it when I was a kid. I have no idea now. Mm-hmm. This is the sort of information I held on to for too long, and then it just one day I just drank it out of me, I think.
Yeah. Ugh. I remember though he died in like probably 2000. He died in like the early 2000s, maybe 2003.
Oh, he died. Damn, I feel bad for calling him a pedophile now. He was
Earl Hindman.
I'm just saying.
But that was a funny thing where it's like you could have that character where you just don't show his mouth and no one ever knows. Yeah, he died December 29th, 2003. What?
How pissed off are you as an actor if you get that part? Because it's this weird double-edged sword of like, you are famous in a way. Uh-huh. You're making good money. You're on a network sitcom that's killing it, and it's syndication big time. I've seen every episode of that show so many times.
Same.
And you're the only one on the cast that nobody knows who the fuck you are on the street.
Yeah, but do you really need to do other stuff?
Yeah, no, I don't mean like you're not getting other jobs. I mean like you don't get any of the pat on the back for
you don't get like a nice table in a restaurant.
Exactly. You're like I bet a lot of people pulled like, hey, don't you recognize I'm Wilson?
Wait, I don't think this guy has a pet. What's a pedophile mouth, Tom?
He just has like thin lips. I thought maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I just was so shocked by seeing his face
he's got some juicy lips.
Maybe I'm thinking of a
hard disagree.
Maybe a pedophile told me he was Wilson this whole time. Hey, don't you recognize me? I'm famous. Kid.
Hey, I'm Wilson from Home Improvement. Yeah, they won't let me show my mouth on the show because of my thin lips.
Hey, kid, I got good candy. I'm on television. I'm Wilson.
Now there's a Loop article. The reason Wilson from Home Improvement never showed his mouth for 8 seasons. The toolmaker Wilson had a see these internet articles are way too long though.
Yeah. Just tell us. There's a 1-sentence answer. Just give us the 1 sentence.
Yeah,
that'd be a fun. I guess there's a Twitter account that does that. There's like the Save a Click or whatever that just tells you stuff, but they can't cover every base. There should be a whole site that's just here's the headline and here's why. Yeah, and you don't have to do anything
for sure,
and nobody makes any money on it.
It was because Tim Allen had a neighbor that he would talk to when he was younger, and he never saw the guys.
I see. And that seems like one of those things that it's good for Tim Allen, but you don't have to do that bit for 8 seasons.
This is like a forgotten corner of the internet that I'm on right now where it's like the other suggested articles that they're suggesting is we now understand why Anna Kendrick refuses to do nude scenes. And then the other one says the truth behind that wild devil all the time spider scene. And then this one says, this dodgeball actress is a serious bombshell in real life. And then the next one is this little Hercules.
Of course she is. She's a fucking actress. What are you talking about?
It's Missy. Isn't her name Missy Pyle? Wasn't that Missy Pyle?
I don't
know. The ugly
remember.
Lady from Dodgeball.
Let me see. I don't have my phone. I keep thinking this.
And then the other one is this little Hercules boy is not quite as Herculean these days. It's like a little jacked kid.
I tried to do this as a bit for a while, but they always do the thing where it's like, you'll never believe what this ugly ass kid turned out to, that he's hot, you know. And I always thought it'd be funny if they did the reverse, like, this hot ass kid is ugly as shit now. And they kind of do, but they don't say it in those blunt of words. They'll be like, you'll never believe what these kid actors look like now. It's like, I don't care. It's weird to they might as well just say it. This sexy ass kid, it looks ugly as shit now.
Yeah, because he got like MS or something.
This kid did not have a glow up. He has MS now.
All right. Well, I guess we can wrap this up. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to talk about.
I don't know. I feel like I was bitching about Hassan Minaj, but I don't even want to get into it.
No, go ahead.
I don't even really want to get into it. He was bitching about the Dax Shepard. He was on a lie detector test, and they asked him what he would rate Dax Shepard out of 10, and he gave him like a 6.7 or something like that. And then went on a big rant about how it's not fair that somebody like Dax, who he said like is attractive but not as attractive as himself, he was like, it's not fair that he will get more opportunities than me because as a person of color, actor, and talent, you can't be out of shape, you can't eat rice and all this shit. And what annoys me is like, you
can't eat rice.
He's like, you can't eat bread or whatever. Like, oh yeah, that's right, he said no carbs. And it's like, I hate that these hot ass people get to because he's like, I have to work 10 times harder than Dax Shepard to get whatever. And it's like, the thing is,
you already have it pretty good.
You have it so good for never making me laugh. Like the guy has never made me laugh once, and he gets to do all this shit, and it's because he's hot. Like, he's a hot guy. He's a very hot guy. He's very nice hair. He's a beautiful man. But I hate that whoever is telling hot people that they're funny is driving me nuts. Because we
have to also stop asking sociopaths for their opinion on like social, like social issues.
I will give him this: that Dax Shepard called him a 9 first. Like, he gave him a 9 out of 10. So it's like that. If you don't want somebody, and Dax Shepard never said shit about it. I don't think he wasn't mad. But it's like, if you don't want somebody to come at your looks, don't judge theirs. But
think about Hassan Minaj. It's like, okay, so there's a guy who, like, he's a Muslim American, and I'm sure he has worked. Like, you don't get successful without working hard. I'm sure he has worked very hard.
But fucking, we all work hard. This is what drives me nuts.
Right, but there's other Indian people in a fucking call center right now calling old women, telling them their taxes, they owe money in taxes, and to go get gift cards. I mean, that requires hard work. Yeah. So it's like, it's this weird thing where, why are we – it's like the whole thing with the Hollywood actresses where, like Jennifer Lawrence only made $24 million in this movie and Bradley Cooper made $30 million, and they had equal screen time. And it's I don't know what –
Yeah.
I just feel like that stuff like that is sort of antithetical to any kind of progress that you might have in the real world with working people.
Well, I just hate it where it's like, you're already killing it. And like we were saying earlier, it doesn't matter how successful you get, a lot of these people are still miserable. And I don't know that he is. He had his Netflix show canceled. Some people liked it. Some people say, that writer's room or whatever was not safe. It was not a good place to work. So
really,
and he got no heat from that, it seemed like. So
what is that? But what was that about? Like that
it was like a bad environment for people of color or something like that. Like, I don't know. I don't or women or something. I can't remember. But nonetheless, it just sucks that I hate hearing.
There was a dress code on the thing that said suggested dress for the female writers. They had to come into work in bike shorts. Just imagine like there's a dress code for the women writers, and you're like, all right, guys, so like, and you're trying to write this like socially conscious show about how Trump is bad.
And don't get me wrong, that guy is bad. He's bad news. But Donald J. Trump,
for sure.
But
he's so orange.
He's like a friggin'
tangerine.
Damn, I can't think of the perfect like chip or I was trying
like
Did we talk about this? I was like
a snack food.
This is what a crazy person. Yeah, he looks like a snack food.
He looks like some kind of snack food that I can't put my finger on.
I was just trying to think of a throwaway line about Joe Biden. Like, it's funny, the comic who's like obsessing over trying to figure out which chip he looks like because he's trying to be famous about doing that.
Yeah.
And I told
President Bugle.
He does kind of look like. I was saying
President Muncham.
I was saying a Gardetto. I just thought it was funny because it's a random ass thing. And Matthew Broussard, who is a very funny comic, who is a true psycho.
Hey, come on, Tom. You're among friends.
No, Broussard, I will say, is truly
talented guy,
killer, and he's a maniac about writing.
He is a maniac.
And I only say that because this is like a throwaway thing, and he just starts trying to like think of the perfect chip, and he can't stop thinking about it. I get a text from him like 2 days later being like, what about this? And I was like, Matt, I'm not even going to do the bit. It was a dumb idea. I don't even care about this. But he's so obsessive that he has to do it. It's pretty impressive. I just want to say about the Hassan thing.
Sorry, 1 second. Are you burning something? Because I smell burning toast.
You might be having a stroke.
Am I having a stroke? All right, false alarm. I thought I was smelling burning toast.
You smelling your upper lip, bitch?
No, but I did make sandwiches today, and I got too much bread in the oven, and I forgot to clean the oven out. Damn. So I'm not having a stroke, everyone.
I just want to say the thing about the Hassan thing. I have nothing against the guy, really. It just pissed me off because everybody on Twitter was like, "Thank you, say it, King." And it's like it's all because he's hot. I just wish we could acknowledge. Look, this guy's hot. This is why everybody cares that he's saying this. But Dak Shepard is not some ugly piece of shit, and he probably worked hard too. We don't know
Shepard's
how hard
hot.
He worked.
And you
I
can't
hate
just
when
be
people go.
Hot guys are a dime a dozen.
Exactly. I hate when people go, I work 10 times harder to get this. It's you don't know how fucking hard that guy works. You don't know that you work 10 times harder. Maybe you don't work 10 times harder.
Maybe you don't.
Everybody's working hard at this. Some people get
Everyone's working hard.
Don't. It drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. Some people
I guess the one thing I'll say about Hassan is that one time I was hanging out, I was talking to him and Sam, and I guess it was right when Derrick Rose got accused of like sexual assault. And he put out some statement. He put out some statement that like made it worse. Like it didn't help his credibility.
He said that he didn't know what consent meant. He truly could not stop stepping in it. Christ. And he's also like Derrick Rose is one of the most
what a great basketball player too.
And then he eats like candy all day. And then does that. And then
he's like a kid coming into math class in the morning with Sour Patch Kids, and that's his breakfast.
That's it. He was that guy, and
the teacher's like, "There's no candy in class," and they're like, "You ain't gonna let me eat my breakfast."
He fully was that guy, and he never got. I don't think he got any real backlash from it. And I know fans of him who are like, I think that was really great. And if you read what happened, you're like, it's not great. What he did was fucked up. But he got away with it by just going, I don't even know what consent means.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like,
what
do you want? The guy doesn't know. What is he supposed to do?
Yeah. So Hassan and Sam.
Sports fans are crazy. Sorry. Go ahead.
So Hassan and Sam were like telling that story. And they were like, yeah, man, his statement didn't look very good. Like, it really didn't help him. And I was like, yeah, I heard he got Aaron Glazer to help him write it. And if you don't know, like, Aaron Glazer was a comic who was accused of sexual assault. And he, like, wrote this, like, Facebook post. He wrote this Facebook post about, like, these are baseless allegations against me, and I will fight this. And, you know, right.
And it all worked out for him. He won money and got to be in a DirecTV commercial right after that. Or Best Buy, one of those two. Yeah. Look, guys, the bad guy always wins. That's the message. And I got to go. But
all right. But anyway, so I said that, and Hassan and Sam laughed.
Sorry,
Sam laughed, and Hassan was like, "Wow." He wasn't like being condescending to me, but he was like, "Wow!" Like he didn't laugh when I said that. You know,
that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
That drives me nuts because it's like. Guys like that take themselves so seriously. It's like, just be an actor, man. Why do you need just be a game show host, whatever. But you're a hot guy who does not have a sense of humor. I'm sorry. Like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody send me a clip of Hassan Minhaj that's hilarious and and maybe I'm crazy, but he's just never made me.
But he's talented. I mean, he's talented in a way where
he's a
where
talented
like,
host, sure.
yeah, where like
Let
slam
him
poets
host
are
the
talented.
fucking Oscars or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care, but
Yeah.
get him out of we got to stop pretending like he's hilarious.
Oh, it's
He's just
Antonia.
hot. Put his yeah, that's Antonia. She doesn't want to be associated with this, I'm sure, but
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. She thinks she's better than me.
No, she's just putting her equipment away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm probably I don't think I'll get shit for this, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll
No, you won't.
It doesn't matter. It's over for me.
All right, we got to wrap up, right?
Yeah, I got another call at 7. I'm
All right.
calling. I got to talk to my buddy Hassan Minaj.
Yeah. Tell him I said hello. Tell him I said he should laugh at my Aaron Glazer joke next time.
If ever you think a hot person is funny, I just wish show him to your friend, but just show him the audio, and let's see how funny they are.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's a whole other conversation, but we can save that for next time. Tom, thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me, brother. Sorry I got bitchy about that. I'm in a bad mood, but
it's just a bad time. Yeah, I think everybody's it's just a bad time for everybody.
No, I'm a bitch.
All right.
Good to see you, buddy.
All right,
thanks
take care. Good
me.
to see you. Bye. All right, everybody. Well, Tom and I are in a pretty bad mood, huh? Just kidding. I'm not going to let his negativity drag me down. Thanks for listening. It's a tough time for comics out there. It's a tough time for everybody. I hope you guys are doing okay despite, circumstances. We got a vaccine coming, so pretty soon it'll be given to the Obama family, and then it'll be given to Britney Spears, and then it'll be given to Kanye West, and then essential workers, and then inmates, and then it'll be given to I don't know, but we'll get it eventually. Anyway, if you can support my growing family, why don't you do that on Patreon? Patreon.com/sitdownpod, where we do a 20-minute show every single day. And if you have any moving needs in the tri-state area, I have a Gmail for the moving company. It's truckboysmoving@gmail.com. Hit me up, or if you also need any kind of furniture assembly, junk removal, mounting, hanging, clean outs. I love all your garbage problems, so hit me up. I didn't choose that life. That life chose me. Anyway, you guys have a blessed week. See you next time. Bye-bye.